I'm interested, Adrian. Are you running the Ultra machine, or are you playing
FX7s. Yeah.
FX7s?
Let me tell you something. Your machine they're durable.
Yeah.
What is it? Like a year ago, one of them caught on fire.
Well, okay.
Yeah. Okay.
We did it.
Yeah, we did it. It was, yeah.
It wasn't, yeah.
But
yeah.
it caught on fire. But 3 days later, we replaced the fire suppression system, and it was running back to normal. So
That's fantastic. But yeah,
So
look,
they're pretty
good thing
bulletproof,
for, good thing for the fire system, especially if you're running lights out. And,
Yeah, we do
Kidding.
24/7. Yeah.
Yeah, you want to have a good system. But how did the fire start? Because, like Jonathan said, you caused it. Which
Let's clarify on that.
That's
Yeah.
a fine print there. But but that usually happens through sort of a ill-placed coolant line or something like
kick a
that.
guess
I
at
think
it.
I remember this one. So what happened is that we were doing drill grinding
Mm-hmm.
and with a real deep flute on it.
Mm-hmm.
We took the fluting wheel out and dressed it
Mm-hmm.
and put it back in the machine and measured again. And there was that just little amount that we dressed off of the wheel was just enough so that the shank of the largest diameter on the drill rubbed against one of the spacers on the arbor.
The bond width was
just,
bigger than the
it's
actual
just that
flip depth.
that 20 thousandths we took off probably was
It was
just enough.
It was a nice show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who was running the machine?
It was
No one?
No, I think they had gone on lunch actually when it happened.
okay.
I
Yeah.
think I know who.
Yeah,
but
that
it was before
usually-
my time.
Yeah.
I remember
Usually
hearing about this.
requires a toilet break to the
Yeah.
operator
Yeah.
to go and
Yeah.
tidy
Yeah.
themselves up. But
Yeah.
I've seen several of them happen, not only on video on customer sites and the odd time that it may have happened in our demonstration room. But it's sort of funny how just little things like that create enough heat
Mm-hmm.
that the actual mist itself will catch on.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Have that flash fire, but the key is release the pressure. So the Anca machines have that little flip
Yeah.
door
Lid
on
on the
top,
top.
of,
Yeah,
on
exactly,
the top
yeah.
of the canopy. As soon as that opens up, it sends a signal to the control to stop, shuts down the mist collector, fire system comes on, the pyrogen, and
Then it worked.
within a few
No
seconds,
damage to the machine.
yeah,
None,
and being the pyrogen system, there's no mess to clean up, and
Mhm.
Yeah.
back at it.
Yeah. Like I said, a couple of days later, we just came. They replaced it, ran it, measured everything all over again, make sure everything was good, and
Fireproof.
yeah, literally.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that simple on the
yeah,
other machines.
look, it's not a habit you want to have.
No,
because,
no.
No,
You know,
but
the-
you want the protection there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
Bigger
never
than-
been involved with it, but I usually the biggest culprit seems to be someone starts a cycle, like a heavy fluting cycle, without coolant
Yeah.
for a good
Oh,
enough
That's right.
amount of
Yeah.
time for it to build up some heat, and they come back and they're like, "Oh no,
Yeah, and-
coolant on ignites." That's
Yeah.
the number one reason I've known. I've actually never been involved in one, thankfully, and because I've heard the stories.
Yeah.
Learn from other people's mistakes,
Yeah.
so you don't
yeah,
make the
touch
same.
wood.
But
Yeah.
we're testing them so that you guys don't have to do it.
There you
know,
go.
Like,
Right.
learn from our mistake.
Part of our extended R&D department.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
How much
Exactly.
load can the machine take before a
Exactly.
fire starts? Yeah.
No, but yeah, in all reality though, like your guys' machine's awesome. We have a guy right now that it went from being one of our maintenance guys to now operating one of the machines. He's probably been at it maybe like 3 weeks, and for the most part, he's kind of doing it on his own already.
Yeah, that's right.
Besides getting to obviously know the tools and all that, the moving of the machine, putting the wheels on, turning everything on, like if he's been doing it for years, so that kind of shows you guys that it's really easy to do it,
Yeah, look, it'd be nice. It'd be nice as a salesman who could say, "Look, our machines are so easy. You can bring someone off the street."
Yeah.
Right.
and that's
Low
a
training.
perfect world, but
Yeah.
too perfect. So I appreciate all the credit, but you have to have the right person pushing the buttons
Yeah.
that has
100%.
some basics, also a desire to learn and be creative. I love saying talking about creative and looking at some of the tools you guys are making. Anca has this tool of the year that we run every year, and it's a sort of putting customers against customers in a friendly way
Mhm.
of making the sort of best cutting tool that's special and unique. That must be a functioning cutting tool, so it's got to have a purpose. But making it on an anchor and making it to the highest tolerance possible, and certainly being able to measure it against the print. And it's a program that runs all around the world, and we get submissions from all around the world. And the types of cutting tools that are presented are just fantastic. You know, the owner, I think Pat Boland, termed the frame the art of the tool and the art of the cutting, the operator that makes the tool. And that's really what it is, you know, you're looking at operators that come to our machine and just love the art of designing the next cutting tool, or the challenge of making that high precision cutting tool to the print. And that's an art. That's a skill.
Certainly.
Yeah.
You know,
Certainly.
that's not something that you can be taught with either. You know, you're sort of you're sort of born with that, or that desire to be creative, and so there's a passion there for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's easier said than done. It's one thing to draw on a print versus adding cutting clearances in certain spots and learning how is the wheel even going to do this. So knowing what you're looking for, and if you can figure out a way within the program to get it to work, or what's going to be functional and possible.
And that's something in your tool development, you use the 3D simulation a lot. I mean, you know, again, Anca was the first in tool grinding with the simulator, 3D simulation on the market. Gee, it's got to be 25 plus years ago. To think that you can actually design, create, test grind in a virtual
that's great. How you
on a computer, to see that you've got all your grinding paths right, your clearances right, your program's going to work, and you can see that maybe where you cut too deep on the simulation, you can back it out, make a parameter change, and rerun it again, and you know, check that the profile's all right. That's a perfect world.
Yeah,
It's the only system that can put material back on your cutting tool if you mess up. So if you think of just the role that 3D simulation plays in sort of developing, you know, the next cutting tool.
Yeah, we use it daily, and one of the features I like the best is the progressive grind mode in the simulation, where you actually see the material being removed as you scroll through it.
Yeah. And the different colors that sort of signify which wheel is removed.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
And operation type, so you know if you see a double touch somewhere it's not supposed to be. Makes it very easy to go just pinpoint, okay, let's look here. Let's not waste a bunch of time trying to find it somewhere else.
And then if you extend out the flexibility of it, it gives you cycle times, helps you with your quoting. And then if you really get into it, you can take snapshot photos and send it to your customers if they're sort of one-off type specials that you want, and send it to the customer and say, hey, this is what I can do for you. And even the files that you send your customers, even with them not having 3D simulation, they can look at the tool in a three-dimensional view and sign off on it. So it's it's good
that's
stuff.
a great feature.
And one of the things that I think sets Anca apart from the other ones, from the other tool manufacturers or tool grinder manufacturers that make the machines, it's kind of what we discussed when I first joined SET, is how Anca makes the actual control. And I came to the same conclusion that Adrian said earlier in one of the first days I saw an Anca, and I was like, it's kind of like like the Apple, and for a different reason. In his case, it's about the user interface, which I agree. But I'm talking about the machine build itself, that the control is by Anca, the software is by Anca, the machine is by Anca. And so I think when you were talking about custom solutions and really being able to be adaptive for the customer, I think that it gives you a greater capability to be adaptive for the customer as compared, say, if we're talking apples to apples, Apple to Anca, or say other competitors to like a Dell. Right, their software is made by Windows, the operating system is made by Windows, and their processors made by Intel. It's just a combination, and they just assemble it together. Where Anca's not that. If I'm not wrong, I think Anca does it all together.
Right. I mean, we're very vertically integrated. Definitely strengths. Definitely not cheaper or less expensive to be vertically integrated. There's a cost to that. but then the cost is outweighed by the flexibility that it gives us, control of the design and what we can implement. So we manufacture the base, we pour our own concrete. So it's quite interesting. It's a 4-plate mold that's put together and pipes all running through it, and then a cement mixer backs up and fills up the mold, and a vibrating pad is shaking and lets it settle, and then within a couple of days we pull off the sides. We use a non-stick like a baking for your cakes, like on the mold, and it comes apart, and there's our base, and then we machine it. We do that. We build the CNC control and all the electronic components in one of our Anca factories. The sheet metal is all done by an Anca company, and then we write and develop the software. So you sort of look at this vertical integration, and it allows us to pull departments together to bring new technology. For someone that maybe buys a control from Joe Smith and then a laser from Billy Bob, and then tries to partner them up, takes a lot of work. It can
does,
be done,
yeah.
but it takes a lot of
Right.
work. But, when you're vertically integrated, the CNC control software people can talk to the laser people, the engineers working on the laser, and it makes it easier for us to integrate it together into our machine design. We consider that one of our strengths. And for the customer, it's one phone call for service and support. You don't have to call the CNC control company. You don't have to call the software company. You don't have to call the machine tool. It's just one phone call. And then if you take away all the aspects of the Anca, say the CNC control, it's just a normal CNC control. G&M codes, if you want to get creative and write your own software, it's just a normal CNC control.
Troubleshooting too. That was one of all of this was some of my first impression of Anca. I think when you had to troubleshoot, I think you just downloaded some code. I'm forgetting what the exact term was, and sent it over to Anca, and they could find out what the problem was right away.
Oh yeah, that was with the diagnostic tool.
Diagnostic tool to be able to diagnose it that way instead of other machines that I've used in the past. It's okay. That's not our problem. Call Fanuc. Okay, you call Fanuc. That's not our problem. Call X company.
Yeah.
And it's just people are passing the blame. Yeah. And I've dealt with that before, to where trying to find out what the problem is sometimes just takes half the battle.
Definitely the skills of the people in Wixom that interpret those bundles that you send, which is so telling of their skills, but also the ability for the machine to capture the errors and the faults, then for the people to be able to identify them and then give you advice on how to correct the situation.
Very beneficial, especially coming from a different universe, to see it can be that easy. It can be someone that can help you within that amount of time. Yeah. That's amazing.
I want to ask you one question. So now that AI is obviously becoming a thing, do you guys plan on integrating any of that inside of your machines?
Yeah, look, I think AI is exciting. You'll see a lot of it in the function and workings of the EPX. That'll be a good indication for you on how Anca will use AI. There's certainly still a lot more to learn and be known, and I'm on the tail end of sort of knowing all that. I know we have a team working and looking into AI, and they could speak more competently on it. But I think in every day of our lives, AI's
it's
playing
pretty
more and more,
exactly.
and it has to play a role in future manufacturing. You'll see it in the EPX.
Yeah. So that's great. I mean, at least you guys are, exploring that option and putting it in there, which is a good thing,
I don't think you can ignore it.
Yeah.
It's exciting stuff, though.
It's scary, but it's it's got its good and its bad, right?
Yeah, no, it's I just I don't know, if you're a college kid now, I think you're
using it every day.
You've got it made.
Man, you can knock out homework so fast. Yeah.
Even sometimes.
Wait, no, I'm not. No.
What?
What?
Even a customer will ask about a very bizarre port tool, and sometimes the other day I just used AI to figure out that they were talking about the cartridge valve that fit into a very specialty one-off cartridge that happened to be relation to a sun cavity, and it saved me a bunch of time and research of, really? And I verify that, and it's like, it seems to be true. and I was able to use AI. And it was just, okay, that I couldn't find that anybody had any knowledge of that anywhere.
Yeah.
But AI was able to search 50 websites and find it for me.
Does the
Okay.
research for you.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
my homework, I guess you
Yeah.
would call it.